as we say here in Harambe, it's Wednesday. Let's go. Jumbo, everybody. My name's Jess. I'll be your safari driver and guide through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. I do have a couple of safety reminders before we get started. I am not just a voice on the loudspeaker, friends. I'm a real person. This is also an incredibly real truck. I'm actually driving it. So for your safety, please remain seated at all times. And that does mean adults and children, both when I'm moving and when I'm stopped. Please do not reenact the Lion King on my truck. I appreciate it. Also, make sure we keep those hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. There also is no eating, drinking, or smoking on the vehicle for the safety of the animals. Speaking of animals, that is why we're here. Above your heads, you're going to see that safari spotting guide. It's going to help you identify some of the animals we may see. May not see all of them due to migration and sleeping patterns, but we do get pretty lucky and see most of them. I will do my best to help point them out to you. All right, looks like we got clearance from the warden. We're going to head on in. Our first stop is the little Ituri Forest. Animals here use camouflage to blend into their surroundings and hide, so keep your eyes peeled. I already see our first animal over on the right side. It's over by some bamboo. That is called an okapi. The okapi are dark in color with stripes on their legs. That is great camouflage for hiding behind bushes and bamboo. Those stripes are incredibly deceiving, though. They're not related to zebras. They're actually the only living relative of the giraffe. It's because their body shape is similar to the giraffe. They just have a shorter neck. They're a little more compact for the forest. They also have a long tongue in their mouths like the giraffe. They'll use that tongue to grasp at the leaves of trees and bushes. And look over on the left side, you'll see a couple of black rhinoceros. One is hanging out in the water for a bit. The black rhinoceros is one of the smaller rhino species. They're about 3,000 pounds. It looks like this one just wanted to eat the tasty greens. Yeah, they're about 3,000 pounds. And we're lucky to be seeing a couple of them because they are a critically endangered species. Their population is less than 5,000. It's not a whole lot if you think about it as a population. The reason their numbers are so low is due to poaching. Poachers are after their horns, which are actually just made of keratin. It's the same material our hair and fingernails are made of, and also have no medicinal properties. So the only animals that need those horns are the rhinos, not us. Now there are some antelope and birds over here, over on the right side. The gray ones are greater kudu, tallest antelope in the forest, and those ones are also all females. Only males have horns. The orange chestnut colored ones are called bongos. They get the nicknames the ghosts of the forest because they're incredibly shy and reclusive and love hiding. Unless they're looking for food. I was going a little slow because it looked like some of them wanted to cross the road, but they took their time. There also are some birds. Those are saddle-billed storks. Saddle-billed storks stand 5 feet tall and get their name for the yellow saddle-shaped marking on their bill. Fantastic view of the bongos. Now both the males and females have those horns. They actually will use their horns to dig roots in the ground for them to eat. But now we're going to head over to the Safi River. This is where we can find some aquatic animals. Rivers and watering holes are great places to find animals. Water, our most valuable resource. It is the reason that life exists at all on this planet. And over on the left, you'll catch a glimpse of some hippos. These are Nile hippopotamus. Very large animals. It's hard to tell from this angle, but they weigh well over 5,000 pounds. Yeah, they're also very well adapted to that life in the water. They can hold their breath between 5 and 8 minutes at a time. The only thing they can't do is swim. Instead, they walk on the riverbed to move around. You're also going to see those pelicans on the island. They're called pinked-back pelicans. They're in the middle of nesting season. You can see a couple of nests on there. And they get their name of pinked-back because underneath their feathers, their skin will actually turn bright pink. But that happens during the mating season, so we just missed it. Now we're going to be crossing over the river in just a moment, so make sure we do continue to stay seated. is those are the Nile crocodiles on the left side. Rather large reptiles. They're 16 feet long. And that tail of theirs is very strong. They can actually use it to jump their body length out of the water. Very impressive. Also kind of terrifying. But a lot of people don't think about this with reptiles. Crocodiles in particular are really good parents. When their eggs are about to hatch, they'll put those eggs in their mouths and gently roll them around with their tongues. That helps to soften the eggshells, making it easier for their hatchlings to get out. Now once they have little crocodiles roaming around, they'll actually guard them until they're big enough to fend for themselves. Yeah, they're really good parents. But now it looks like we're going to leave the forest in its entirety. We're going to head to our next ecosystem, the savannah. We recognize a lot of animals out here too. We're going to take it nice and slow. The animals you'll see out here, they do migrate over long distances. So the savanna's kind of like their natural highway. It's pretty flat and also doesn't have a lot of trees. So that does make it easier for large groups of animals to move around. I do see some animals way off in the distance. I'll get us a little closer to some of them. But as we do get closer to them, take a look at this landscape. The animals here actually help to shape their homes. I like to compare them to landscapers in our lives. There's lawnmowers, tree trimmers, and even bulldozers. Lawnmower animals are going to be those ones that eat the grasses, like the antelope, zebras, wildebeest, and cattle. They're going to keep those grasses nice and short. Might be able to see a couple of giraffe off in the distance. Now the giraffe are the tree trimmers. They are the tallest land animals, and they use their height to their advantage, eating the leaves off of trees and bushes until they can't reach them anymore. That's how a lot of the trees look this way out here, with leaves only at the very tops of them. That's just where the giraffes can't reach. Now on our left side, very difficult to see. Oh, there's a couple of bears. Those macaws are in the wrong country. Anyways, so over in the cave on the left side, you're going to see some African painted dogs. They're also called African wild dogs. Now, they're one of the most successful hunters in Africa. They work like a pack of wolves, great pack mentality and communication skills. Here on our left side, you're going to see some Ankole cattle. Look at those horns. Those are 4 feet long horns. And they're pretty lightweight. They only weigh 15 pounds. It's because there's air pockets inside those horns. They're one of the only domesticated animals on the reserve, too. The zebras are called mountain zebra. They're really good climbers, hence their name. They do live near mountains, too, of course. And those stripes are actually unique to the individual. No two are alike, just like us and our fingerprints. And the antelope over there are called eland. Very large antelope, weigh about 2,000 pounds and stand 6 feet tall at the shoulders. Incredibly large. But here's the giraffe, tallest land animals. These are called Maasai giraffe for those irregular, jagged shaped spots on their bodies. Their maximum height is about 20 feet tall. That is much taller than this truck. Now, not every giraffe's going to reach 20 feet tall, though. You know, they are kind of like us people in a way. We don't all reach the same height either. I kind of like to think not every giraffe's going to play basketball. Especially with March Madness happening right now. Now, also with the giraffes, their average height is between 16 and 18 feet. Still, that's still taller than this truck. We'll see if we can find some more up ahead. Now over on our right side, looks like there's a little bit of a stampede going on. These are wildebeest. They're running around. They're just happy it's nice and cool today. Now the wildebeest, they're known to travel in those very large groups. Wildebeest can travel in herds of well over 1 million individuals. So this is actually a relatively small herd. Imagine if we were to see 1 million out here. You wouldn't see any grasses, that's for sure. Now, I really do think they get bad reputations, especially from the Lion King. You know, it's not their fault. They were just minding their own business, eating grasses. Then the hyenas showed up, as well as Scar. It was Scar's idea, so you really should be blaming the hyenas and Scar, not the wildebeest. They're really cool animals. Now, so there's another antelope on our right side, very small. These are springbok, and they are adults. They're only about 2 feet tall, but they get their name for their amazing jumping abilities. They can jump about 6 feet in the air when they're excited or scared. We're sitting about 6 feet up off the ground in this truck, so one of those springbok could jump into the truck if they wanted to. So it looks like here's some more giraffe. I knew we'd find some more. And they do live in groups called towers. That's because they're so tall. This one's going to stop on the road, so we're going to hang out here for a minute until it does decide to leave the road. Now, for the giraffes as well as the zebra that we saw earlier, their spots and stripes are unique to the individual. No two are alike, just like us and our fingerprints. Now, it looks like this giraffe does not want to move, so we're just going to hang out here until it does. You know, we're the visitors here. This is their homes. They get to do whatever they please. Oh, now we're going to get the whole group moving. Yeah, this one's just staring at us like, are you gonna go or are you gonna let me go? It's taking its time figuring it out. There we go. The one that's actually crossing in front of my truck right now is actually a 1-year-old, just over a year old. So yeah, already pretty big. And when it was a newborn, they're about 6 feet tall at birth. And by the time they turn 1, they double in size. So they grow 6 feet in 1 year. Now that is a growth spurt. Get another view of her. Well, we'll continue on. We'll go a little deeper into the savannah, see what other animals we find. Alright, we're going to keep going now. We're going to get some great views. There is an elephant on our right side and also mandrills on the left. Now you see that large mandrill, this is the male. The other ones are females. Male mandrills are about 100 pounds and females are half their size. Though they do both have those blue and red markings on their bodies. There's a great view of this elephant. This is a pretty large elephant too. Now they do weigh between 10 and 15,000 pounds. Yeah, this one's on the upper end. This one's a little over 14,000 pounds. Yeah, so very large. That one was also a male elephant because he's by himself. Male elephants, when they reach about 15 years of age, they decide to leave the herd of females. And they're going to choose to either live by themselves, enjoy the solo life, or they're going to form a small bachelor group with other male elephants and have some best friends to hang out with. Oh, I might be enjoying the solo life right now, though. Then we'll see if we can find some more elephants up ahead, maybe with females and their youngsters, a whole herd. Now, the elephants are a type of landscaper, too. They're the bulldozers. They're strong enough and large enough to knock trees over if they wanted to. And when they do that, that's just to gain access to food at the tops of them. But when they do that, it does make way for more grasses to grow. More grass means more food for the antelope to eat. So it's kind of like there's a literal circle of life out here. Oh, and there's definitely more elephants nearby. There's tusk markings in the clay. We even seeing some footprints on the ground. Oh, they didn't travel too far. There's a couple over on our left side. Now the elephants do eat clay too. They'll use their tusks to soften it, makes it easier for them to chew. And by eating it, it does give them valuable nutrients into their diet that they may be missing from just eating leafy greens and fruit all day long. So you see 2 of them. Looks like this is a herd because I'm seeing a couple more off in the distance. So we'll go around and get us a clear view of them too. So the elephants really do need those tusks, not just for eating clay, it's also to protect themselves. Unfortunately, elephant populations are in decline due to poaching because people want those tusks for the ivory. And there's a variety of ways that people are actually helping elephants out, as well as people. One example is in Kenya. Farmers in Kenya were actually having issues with elephants. The elephants would migrate through their farms and destroy their livelihoods. It made them really angry, and they wanted to poach the elephants to solve their problem. Scientists actually discovered that elephants are afraid of bees. They don't like being stung. No, I'm the same way too. Bee stings hurt. So the scientists helped the farmers build beehive fences to put around their farms. And it did work. The elephants stopped going through the farms. They went around them to avoid the bees. And it also gave farmers another source of income by selling honey. Definitely a win-win. I thought that elephant was going to go play with the ducks for a second. Now also up ahead you're going to see lots of flamingos. These are the greater flamingo. They are the tallest and lightest color pink of all the flamingo species. When they hatch from their eggs, they start out with gray feathers. And they get their pink colors from their food. It's called brine shrimp. That shrimp contains a protein called beta-carotene. That is what turns their feathers pink. It's kind of like the saying, you are what you eat. I do see a couple more large animals up ahead now. Won't be able to stop at this area since it's actually one of these baby rhinos' first week on the reserve, so lots of new sights, sounds, and smells. So you're going to see some white rhinos. There are a couple of babies with this group, so we're really lucky today. White rhino is the largest rhino species. The adults are about 5,000 pounds. There's actually two young ones. The one that's right near the mom that we're seeing first, that one's about 5 to 6 months old. The other one is a month younger, so you're going to see this one has an even smaller horn. Its mom is actually rubbing her horn on that fallen tree. It's actually how they shape their horns. They'll rub them on those rocks and trees to shape them into a design that they like. So that's how you tell rhinos apart from one another. Their horns. Yeah, they're super cute, those little babies. They are half siblings. They have the same dad, different moms. I'm going nice and slow because this is a real treat for us to see all these babies. Those babies do grow very quickly, though. They do grow between 7 to 9 pounds every day. So in a month, they'll be a little bit bigger already. Great views of them. Now we're also going to great view of these 3 ostrich on our left side, too. Largest birds. Thank goodness they're flightless. I'd be terrified personally if they ever learned to fly. Now those 3 are all females too. They have gray feathers. The males have black feathers. Now even though they can't fly, they make up for it with speed. They can run about 45 miles per hour. Faster than my truck can go. This truck only goes about 8. You're also going to see 3 cheetahs over on the left side too. Fastest land animal. They can reach a top speed of 70 miles per hour and go 0 to 60 in only 3 seconds. So pretty fast animals. Now they are a sprinter though, not a marathon runner. Cheetahs can only maintain their high speed for about 30 to 40 seconds. Then they have to rest for a couple of hours before they can run again. The majority of the time you'll see cheetahs, they're going to be resting. Oh, and there's another cat, an even larger one on the left. Up on the rocks are lions. Now those rocks are called a kopie. Kopies are used by the lions as a territory, gives them a great view of their surroundings. Now the female lions are the hunters. The male lion has a different job. He's pretty much a stay-at-home dad. He's the protector. He's going to stay behind and guard the territory and the cubs. Looks like they're very sleepy lions today. You'll see more rhinos on the right side. There's actually a year-and-a-half-old rhino over there. Much larger than those 2 youngsters we saw. Now the lions are technically a nocturnal animal. You're seeing them rest right now. They'll do this all day. 16 to 20 hours of their day, lions are resting. Much more active in the evenings. Usually when they go on their hunts. Let me get us one more view of those rhinos. There's lots of them. We're lucky to be seeing this many baby rhinos too. Their population is a bit better than the black rhino. There's about 20,000 of them. There's mom and her youngster. Now the babies will stay with their moms for about 2 to 3 years. They'll learn everything there is to know about being a rhino, rolling around in mud and sparring with their horns. They also see those are eggs. Those belong to those ostrich we just saw. Yeah. Yep, they just lay them there, and I'll explain why. So their eggs are really big and really tough. So the size, they're about 3 pounds or 2 dozen chicken eggs. The shell is really tough. One of us could actually stand on one and they won't crack. So there's not a whole lot of animals out there that can crack open an ostrich egg, so that does allow the ostrich to step away and forage for food and come back and check on them later. That's a really good question. Alright, well, we're going to head on out of the savannah. We're going to go into another forest called Magadi Glen, home to the warden's post. Looks like we're in for a little bit of a treat over here too. The wardens are taking care of some Nigerian dwarf goats. They're really small, and if you see the smaller goats, those are the babies. Yeah, so they did have kids. They're very playful and friendly, and they love socializing. The locals find these goats very useful too, especially for their milk and cheese. Very nutritious and of high value. The locals can sell those products. And that does help them to rely less on the wildlife so they can protect them more too. Lots of baby animals out today. And we are going to start heading back towards civilization. We saw quite a lot of animals too. Now unfortunately a lot of those animals are still endangered today, and there are a variety of ways that you could actually help these animals out. Talk to the villagers about Disney's Conservation Fund. They are a non-profit that that gives dollar for dollar for any amount that you donate, all in the effort to end extinction and to support those conservation efforts around the world, including that elephants and bees project I mentioned. Now, also, if you want to check out more animals, I highly recommend you go to Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. It's going to be just beyond the exit of Kilimanjaro safaris. Along the trail, you can find a wide variety of animals, including gorillas, colobus monkeys, meerkats, and even some naked mole rats. And here is our stop, so make sure you gather up all your belongings. Don't leave anything behind. It's a long way back to Africa. And we also do not like saying goodbye. Far too sad and final. Instead, we use the Swahili phrase kwaherini, roughly means to go well. So kwaherini, my friends, go well, go wild, and have a great rest of your day.